myself, I'm Adam Cahill, head boy.
Myself, I'm Millie Swan, the head girl.
I'm Alex Curran and I'm a prefect.
And we are joined by a very special guest for our first episode, Mr. Hurley.
Welcome. Hello.
How you doing? So we're just going to ask you a couple of questions about school life and see how it goes. So first question is, what made you want to become the principal of Woodbrook College?
Okay, so I semi-cheat and I got
Yeah,
some,
that's okay,
some notes
Yeah,
down
that's
because
fine,
it's kind of important.
Yeah.
I don't particularly want to miss a whole lot if I can at all. I suppose there were four things for me. First thing, that the school was co-ed. It's something I firmly believe in. It's not that I'm against single-sex schools. I went to one originally, but I do believe that this is the way forward. Second part is the fact that it was a faith-based school. It is really important that we have, I suppose, a culture of kindness, but based in faith, which is Christian values.
Yeah.
A very wide range of extracurricular activities, and an ambitious staff, which was something that I kind of found out later when I came, but it was good to see. The first three were the main reasons for me coming to Woodbrook.
And what are the core values you see at the moment in Woodbrook College?
I suppose the people are going to be very tired of listening to me say this, but in terms of rich, and I mean that rich culture that we talk about, and each of those different elements create, I suppose, a richer element to each of those. Save the pun.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if we talk about the R in terms of respect, it's not just about respect in relation to staff. It's staff in terms of students. It's students with students.
Yeah.
It's students and staff with the building. Like this building has got to last for a very, very long time, and it's something that I really, really do believe in. The same way with inclusion. I know that there's going to be a question on a kind of such a multi-diverse culture that we do have.
Yeah.
That's number one, you know what I mean, the inclusion element, and then obviously in terms of the commitment, everybody's got to be committed in some fashion.
That's it.
And then the last part for me is the honesty, and I mean that has been something that has been quite evident in terms of when you face somebody with the truth, they kind of look at you and go, okay, I didn't do it right, and I'll do something better the next time, and that's all you ever want.
And would you say the rich culture has created like a bond in the school?
I think there's always been a bond there,
Yeah.
but I do think that it gives you a platform to build on.
Okay.
So therefore, look, we've all got this common goal.
Yeah.
It's to be respectful to the people around us, and with one another. And if we're not, we should be kind of pulling people up on it. It's not an idea of just kind of calling them out, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
And is there any values you'd like to see installed in the future in Woodbrook College?
I'm not 100% sure, because I do think we do a great job on it. I think resilience is probably something that is really, really important at the moment, and that's something that I am very conscious of from, I suppose COVID has taken away an opportunity for a number of people around their resilience, and has kind of really hit it hard. Like you guys have gone through your own wars in terms of as senior students. So therefore it is suddenly like, oh, here we are, and I'm facing into a leaving cert here, and for some, they may not have sat an exam for the last 2 years, and therefore that's tough.
Very tough.
Definitely, yeah. See, our perspective on the ground, we can see Woodbrook College is a very diverse school with different cultures. And obviously the school's going to want to increase in size in the next coming years. What steps are you going to take or have taken to include the diversity and inclusion in our school?
So, as part of our clubs, we've got a huge number of clubs which are about diversity. We are proud, and I am honoured to have 2 ASD units in the school, and the ability to allow people who don't always find it easy to fit in to be involved in a school like Woodbrook. and it is about inclusion, isn't it?
Mm,
We
it
talk
is,
about that element
yeah,
of
yeah.
inclusion.
Yeah.
It's to look about, we're an EAL teacher for the first time. We have home language tuition, which is something that we only introduced last year.
Yeah.
And it is something that we're building on the whole time in terms of that intercultural, that diverse nature of our school population. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, you could come in and have multiple conversations just about that alone. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
really,
definitely.
really good.
I know even in sports as well.
Mm.
There's a lot more diversity and inclusion, especially in the school.
Yeah.
Like for the rugby team. Just,
Of course.
Yeah.
We'd have to.
yeah, we have to, yeah.
How would you describe the culture of Woodbrook?
Welcoming,
Yeah.
respectful, and it's something that I kind of felt very from day one. It's not that I expected there to be an out and out acceptance of what is. Like, we started to change. COVID has made us change.
Yeah.
It has accelerated things that we're doing now that we wouldn't have done before. The introduction of teams, the ability of staff to communicate,
Yeah.
you know, internally and externally. And that has its own challenges too.
Yeah, it
You
does,
know
yeah.
what I mean? And ability to be able to communicate with our students. And also then the other part of that for me is the student voice.
Yeah.
It is massively
Yeah.
important that we start to increase that student voice, and I think that's something that we are doing.
Yeah, I feel quite strongly about the student voice. I'm sure everyone else does as well. So we find that's quite important to talk about. So, how as a principal do you celebrate success at all levels of the school, and why is that important from a cultural perspective?
It's not about always being successful.
Yeah.
But it is always about trying. So it's
Yeah.
that element of commitment.
Yeah.
If we go back to the rich
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of it. I get to brag to my board. Well, not my board, the board of the school.
Yeah,
I have great fun kind of sitting down on a monthly basis, and we've got teachers from other schools on our board, and they are aghast at some of the things and the volume of things that we get through. We have parents on our board, and they're looking, going, I can't believe the amount of stuff that comes through on the app, in terms of all the things that we do, and you know, that's pretty
Yeah.
big, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And it allows me to be able to go off to other schools and kind of go, oh no, we already do that.
Been
Woodbrook
there, done
Word
that.
has been something
Yeah,
that
yeah.
has been something really, really big for us, and that has kind of developed over the course of the last 2 years, and we're seeing a change in it again. And then obviously in terms of our end of year book, you know, these are just small celebrations. It doesn't have to be about medals
Yeah.
Yeah.
or titles. But I'm proud to have a lot of people that
Pretty
we
good.
have who did it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you want that
Yeah.
for where we can,
Yeah.
but it's great to be able to get something back. And I get that every time I walk in here. You know, I stand at the door and getting a hello from somebody, or getting a hello from somebody that I wouldn't have gotten from before. That's to me a success and a celebration. You know?
Definitely.
Perfect.
Over the last couple of years, we've seen the school hugely increase in capacity. What do you see the school looking like in the next 5 years?
I think it's just going to be a bigger version of what it is at the moment. I think it's going to be dynamic, both in terms of culture, but also in terms of makeup. We are, and continue to be, and always will be, you know, a multicultural school, because that's the environment that we're working in. And I suppose it's something that for me, it just allows us to be able to achieve with you know, more staff on board, the ability to be able to give maybe a little bit more attention where it's needed for some of those things. It you know, and that's come out before. You know, we've 7 SNAs, we've more and more support for learning hours available, which we're trying to use in the best way we can. And the current thing that we're doing is team teaching.
Yeah.
And that to me has made a massive difference in terms of the way that some of the students are accessing the curriculum. Because ultimately, what is school about other than to go away with an education? Now, that doesn't mean that you have 625 points. It means that you have done the best you can. And that's all we will ever, that's back to commitment again.
Yeah.
There we go. So bring it back to Rich the whole time. Okay.
Perfect. So, before we end the episode,
Okay.
we want to ask a question for you to ask a question to our next guest.
Okay.
So just to connect between the episodes and make a bigger bond in the school.
So you were asked me at that beginning, and I busily scribbled something
Yeah,
down. So
quickly.
the question I had was, what is the greatest thing you like about Woodbrook?
Very
Cool,
good
very good
question.
question.
Good question.
Perfect.
Listen, folks, it's been very good. I really appreciate it. It's a great initiative. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for listening, and we will be back soon enough.
Well, hey guys, brilliant stuff. Well done.